Detroit Lions fans, this is Detroit Den 313, where we talk about the Detroit Lions. And days like this, we don't really enjoy talking about the Lions that much, but we're gonna do it anyway. Steve, where are we even going with this thing?
I don't even like to talk about like life. Nothing in life brings me joy anymore. First and foremost, real quick, like people were after the game. Let me just get this out of the way. People were sprinting. I texted you and said I think Xavier Worthy's in our comments. And some of these Buccaneers fans showing up and dropping
Man,
some comments. Hey, we're humble winners. We're humble losers. We lost the game. The Buccaneers are a good team. All right, they're a well coached, gritty. They are a fight through it team. And I want to start the show with the negatives because I hate to end the show on negatives. I want to talk about the positives as we go.
there's positives.
Yeah, there's a lot. I have a lot of positives. There's a lot of things I saw today that I liked. I will tell you that not much of it was on the offensive side of the ball.
Oh, okay.
Jared Goff. First and foremost, Jared Goff is my quarterback. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Fuck everyone who works at Woodward Sports and what they tweeted out today. I don't know if you saw that, William, or that clickbait shit that they put out there.
I didn't.
They put out a picture of Hendon Hooker and said, "Save us now." Something along those lines. So, hey, we don't do that. All right. You guys have the biggest platform in Detroit sports, and you put out dog shit like that. Turning your back on Jared Goff after one bad game is absolutely disgusting. And it shows me that there's a bunch of kids who are probably sitting there behind phones who are in charge of their social media program and putting shit like that out into the world. Listen, Jared Goff had a bad game. All right. We're going to criticize him in a constructive manner. All right. We're not just going to say, oh, it's time to hand the reins over to Hendon Hooker. I mean, that's how I'm feeling. I don't know what's on your mind. We'll get to that. But I'm embarrassed for the city of Detroit that is the network that is representing Detroit. It's embarrassing, William.
I can't argue it. I just still not in a good place.
How do you feel about Jared Goff?
Jared, he I'm sorry, guys. This is raw. We got home.
I can tell you're trying to be careful with your words.
Yeah, we got home when we hopped on here. I will say this. There was a few throws that I was very confused on. Now, the first one, it was just flat out pass interference. And I'm not one in here to get referees, blah, blah, blah. I'm not one of those. J-Mo was running a route.
You're talking the first offensive snap of the game, right?
Okay. First snap of the game. He threw it out there to J-Mo on a slant, anticipating where he was going to be. He threw it to the gap in between, and J-Mo got chipped while the ball was in the air. Can't do that. He's 5 yards downfield. The ball is in the air. You cannot touch him. That is a no-no. All right. So that one got away. Kind of started us off in a hole, but we fought through it. But other than that, man, that one didn't bother me. A couple of these throws, the one down up in the middle of the field.
The second interception?
Yeah, I feel like he just threw it up in the air. Like he was just, listen, I don't care. 50 million, 50 million, don't matter. I'm just going to throw this up in the air. At that point in time, I didn't care who else could play quarterback. I wanted it to be anybody else in that moment. That's not how I feel right now. It was emotional like 10 seconds. But in that moment, yeah, it could have been anybody. Bring in Craig Reynolds as emergency quarterback at that point. I was just...
Where's Isaiah Williams when you need him, right?
Lee, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just, in all seriousness, man, in the regard that we hold him in Detroit, like, kids are starting Jared Goff chants at schools. Like, it's going on at churches. You can't have those type of plays. So, obviously, we just got to go back to the drawing board and we just got to be better. He is the quarterback of the Detroit Lions. Hendon Hooker is not coming in and taking over for him. But that doesn't mean I have to like it. He's got to play better.
Absolutely, 100%. And I haven't watched the film, and I don't think you have either, about that second interception. And I'm with you 100%. And I'm not going to defend Jared Goff. The only thing I'll say is what more than likely happened was someone ran the wrong route That's the only thing that I could even think of. But even the wrong route, like there wasn't anyone in the vicinity of possibly even running a wrong route. So I don't know. I'm very confused about that second one. That first one, I'm with you. Like, all right, I don't want to get into the ref show. And it wasn't as bad as like the Cowboys game last year. And we had plenty of time, and a lot happened in the game after that I have more problems with. But it was a bad read. Should have been a flag. Whatever. We had plenty of time to move on. But
There was 4 though. There was 4 throws that really threw me for a loop. The one
man,
that he threw from the outside to the sideline on the why am I drawing a blank right now? On the Tampa Bay Buccaneers sideline. I can't remember who there was really nobody there, but Whitehead dropped it. That was just like going to be a clean interception by the Buccaneers safety. And then the other one was the last throw of the game where he underthrew Laporta trying to throw underneath. I don't know if they're going to try to do like a hook and ladder. I haven't watched the film to see who was there, but you got to get him that football. Those 4 throws was just really tough. I know every throw is not going to be the greatest, man, but those 4, and there were some other ones that we could talk about. I'm sure when we watch film, I'll have other ones, but those 4 really aren't sitting well with me. $50 million quarterback.
I think that was one of Jared's worst games as a Lion. The worst game that really comes to mind that really sticks out to me is last year's Thanksgiving game where he fumbled the ball. Like that was probably the worst game. This one was right up there. And I can't make an excuse for him. I don't know what's going on. So that kind of leads me into.
Hold on. Before you say that, I just got a text from Sean McVay. It says, "I told you so." I don't know what he means by that. Yeah. I don't know. Do you know? Do you know what he means by? I don't.
Could be anything. Really, I don't know. It's a small chance that it's Jared Goff related if that's the actual text. Could be literally anything. William, I got a big problem.
Talk to me.
And his name's Ben Johnson.
Uh-oh.
I understand why he didn't get a head coaching job. Let's just go. Let's just have at it. This offense. Now, listen. I just gave Jared Goff a little bit of a pass. It's been one bad game. I'm not selling the team or anything like that. I'm not panicking. My issues with Ben Johnson go back to last season. All right. I have not seen anything from like week 5. I can remember one game, the Denver Broncos game last year on Saturday night was really the only game where I said the offense is clicking for all 4 quarters. Like you pointed it out last week in our post-game show, and it has resonated in my head when you told me this offense has been together for 4 years. Mm-hmm. There's no new, like Jameson Williams is the new wrinkle, and he's playing pretty good football. There's no reason for this offense to be struggling. Our offensive line has been together other than Kevin Zeitler. Amon-Ra St. Brown's been on the team for 4 years. He had a good game today. Jared Goff's been on the team for 4 years. There shouldn't be any getting to know each other. And I'm sick of people using the preseason excuse. Listen, these problems are not going to be fixed with one drive in a preseason game. All right. That is not the problem. If I'm wrong on that, let me know. But one preseason drive is not going to fix your offensive struggles, because we're struggling in a lot of different ways. We're not running the ball. We're running the ball with the wrong personnel, I think. We're kind of tipping our hand a little too much when we're bringing in Gibbs and Montgomery. I think it's kind of known like what we're going to try to do in the running game. We're not getting separation. We're getting bad reads. There's a lot of things going wrong. So I'm looking at Ben Johnson like, I think I know why he's not a head coach, because I think we've covered up a lot of his stuff, and I just don't see. I think he's almost like he's outsmarting himself. Like, does that mean like I can't watch these screen passes on 3rd and 12? I can't watch a swing pass. I can't watch it be 4th and 8 and we're throwing it into the dirt at Sam Laporta's feet. Like I know that's execution and that's on the players, but something's got to happen where this Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense is completely banged up. Vita Vea left the game. They didn't have Kalijah Cansey. They were down a corner, I think, and a starting safety. Like, on paper, this game looked like it should have been a bloodbath. And again, hats off to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You got the win. Great coaching, great scheme. Everything, a lot of things went your way. That's football. I understand that. But my issues with Ben Johnson aren't just week 1 and week 2. We're talking like stuff back in 2023, William.
Yeah. And, You know what, Steve? I think you said it, and I think if I don't piggyback it, then they might not crucify me like they're about to crucify you because you know you can't talk about Ben around here.
Oh, I'm
You
talking.
cannot. Nah, I'm joking. You know I've been pissed, man. I'm pissed. I'm pissed about it as well. We talked about it last week. The rule for me is if all we need to do is score 21 points, we should win football games. If you're an offensive wizard, if you are one of the best offensive line minds in the league, you should be able to score 21 points with okay offenses. Nobody in the NFL is saying that our offense is okay. The expectation is that we have a great offense. We have weapons literally at every single position on the offensive field. Literally, not figuratively, every single position. The X, the Z, JMO, Amon Ra, right? At our tight end position, right?
We
Sam
have a tight
Laporta,
end.
right? Sam Laporta.
Who?
What are we talking about? We have two really good running backs, and every single offensive lineman is a baller, man. Is a baller. And when you're talking about slot receivers in this league, Cleve Raymond, he's a guy that I definitely don't mind having in that slot. So when I look at this thing, man, I just you can't have when we talk about with Aaron Glenn last year, we say, oh man, he's missing this, he's missing that, he doesn't have this. That is not the situation. And I do not hear people getting freaked out about this offense. I am very upset with Ben. I'm very upset with this offense. It does go back to last season. I need more. Their freaking catchphrases is going to take more. Ben, it's going to take more for you not to have overstayed your welcome. And by I don't mean you're stay in Detroit. I mean overstayed your welcome as one of the hottest names in football. I think you're about to see this thing. A few more
Stock's
weeks of
falling.
this.
Stock is
Yeah,
falling.
yeah. He's gonna go from a guy who could have cashed out, and we can't say that's why he's not a head coach to me because people were offering him jobs and apparently he was turning them down. That's what he was saying, right? So that's the rumor. So I don't think that's going to be a situation. I think we're going to be a situation where we either got to let him go or he's no longer in Detroit because he steps down and wants to go be a coordinator or quarterbacks coach or something somewhere else because this thing can't keep going in this direction. A couple more weeks of this, man, and I don't know. Maybe he goes and hangs out with Anthony Lynn.
William, can I tell you something?
Please.
You were at the game, right?
I was.
What were you doing at halftime? Were you in the bathroom, like getting a drink, or did you stay in your seat?
Did not leave my seat.
All right. Well, for those of you guys who weren't at the game, they put on a flag football game, a girls' flag football game honoring the women in sports. What I saw on that offensive execution from those girls in flag football was more exciting to me than what I watched Ben Johnson call today.
Actually, I was going to ask you if Birmingham's OC was available.
Yeah, like, hey, put a headset on this guy. Like, get him out there. Let's dial up some stuff. All right, because I've never been more just bored watching an offense. Like, it was very predictable. Like, it's 3rd and 12. Here's probably a screen.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be, if we need 12 yards, let's run a 6-yard curl. That'll do it, right? Like, at some point, you got to just take a chance. And I want to talk about, like, the last 2 drives of the game because I feel like I've never seen a Detroit Lions team be given so many opportunities to steal a game away. Like, it seemed like the Buccaneers didn't want to win that game. Like, if they pick up a couple first downs, make a couple plays, they're taking a knee. We had 2 chances with the opportunity to win that game at very late. And I just can't even wrap my head around some of the play calling and going to the middle of the field. And I get it. That's all that was open. And I don't even know where to begin, William. My head is just in a pretzel from this whole situation. Like, we didn't even take a shot at the end zone. Like, we have nothing to lose, guys. We're losing this game. Like, our odds of winning are very low. Yeah. I wanted to see at least one jump ball to Tim Patrick. Just one ball in his general direction would have been a better play call than a swing pass or an option pitch to Jahmyr Gibbs for -4 yards. Like,
Steve, I have one real problem with that. He would have to be on the field to get a jump ball.
He got on the field a couple times, and toward the end of the game, I was thinking, like, just one.
He was, yeah. Well, at the end of the game, he wasn't out there. It was TKA 5.
Well, I will say this: when Amon St. Brown, when he the second time he got hurt, I did see Tom Kennedy came in, and I think a play after I think Patrick came in.
Yep.
Yeah, and I was thinking like, man, just one ball at a pylon. Like maybe he catches it. Maybe it's at least a competitive throw at the very least. Maybe we get an offensive or defensive pass interference in the end zone. Like we didn't even take a shot. We just rolled over, and it seemed like we died.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
Never been
No.
wrong.
I mean, you have, but you're not wrong this time.
What
Yeah,
else
it
do you
was
have a problem
very
with?
frustrating. Huh?
What else is like a concern for yours? I want to get this negativity out of the way. I hate being negative.
Definite concern for me, outside of this offense is just, well, actually, let me keep it on the offense, just in one area. We have the best offensive line in football. David Montgomery has shown that he is a grown-ass man, excuse me, right? Grown-ass man. I don't understand why when we got into the driver's seat of this game, and by driver's seat, I mean down by 4 with the football and momentum, why you're not getting David Montgomery downhill, right? Jahmyr Gibbs is a great running back. He offers a little bit of power, a lot of bit of finesse. He's not just a guy that runs outside. I get it. But here's what I will say. He's not running downhill like David Montgomery. Again, best offensive line in football. Everything about our team is supposed to be tough, gritty, nasty, ready to get it out the mud. That's not what I was seeing. There was at one point, I think it was like 2nd and 4, 2nd and 3, where we ran a toss play to the outside to Jahmyr Gibbs. Like we're on the we're going in, right? We're past the 30, I believe, or around it. And excuse me, I haven't watched the film, guys, who are gonna just probably go
Oh, you
watch
saw
the
the
game.
36,
Yeah,
William.
yeah. So I'll get it right when we talk about it again later on this week, and we get a chance to watch the film and take some notes. But either way it goes, we're on our way into the end zone. We're 2nd and 4, 2nd and 3. We got David Montgomery. We got the best offensive line. Everything should have been downhill. Everything. All you're gonna get is downhill and play action. That's it. And we can play action to anybody. Sam Laporta, Amon St. Brown, J-Mo. Shoot, even Tim Patrick, the way he stiff armed somebody. I think it was Dean that he stiff armed to the ground like he was a child. But any of these guys we could be play actioning to. I don't understand it, Steve. Do you have any understanding, or are you also frustrated that we're not using David Montgomery and the best offensive line in football to take control of a football game like we did in overtime last week?
No, you put it into perfect words, and that's what I was hinting at when I said it's very predictable with our personnel and which running backs are in the game. Like when you're using Jahmyr Gibbs, you're trying to get him on the perimeter and use his speed, and sometimes to keep him honest, you're running them inside. I don't understand why we didn't use the format last week when we beat the Rams. Like, hey, all right, enough's enough. Let's just run the fucking ball down their throat. Like plain and simple. Yeah. A gaps, B gaps, just we're gonna pound it right there. They don't have their best their two defensive tackles. I don't think we exploited that. I don't want to call it a weakness, but that I'm trying to be polite because I got to give credit to the Buccaneers. Like we played into their hand, and when those two tackles went out, they didn't have Cansey all day, and then Vea went out. We did not even try to exploit it, like you're saying, like north and south, pound the ball. Just absolutely run it down their throats. Like we're on use this offensive line and just bully them. And we didn't do it. That's what I was talking about when I said we bring in Gibbs. You kind of know, hey, they're going to try to get him the ball in a quick pass or a screen or a bubble. Like it's getting predictable.
Still haven't seen him enough at slot receiver with David Montgomery at running back either. Where's it at, Ben?
And nowhere to be found. It's on a milk carton. Everyone's looking for it. My last gripe, and I don't want to spend a lot of time on this unless you want to, but I thought there was a situation at the end of the first half. I can't remember the exact time, but we had the ball inside the 5, and we settled for a field goal. Mm-hmm. Dan Campbell, are you forgetting your identity? Because it was early in the game. I feel like that would have been the time to go for 4th and 3. If you don't get it, your defense was playing lights out. Aiden Hutchinson's been a monster. Even if we don't convert, Baker Mayfield's taking snaps in the end zone, and Hutch has been under his bed all day. I felt like that was a big point in the first half. A 4-point swing, and we lost by 4. We settled for 3 points.
Yeah.
And then I don't even know who to blame it on the last play of the second half.
That's the one. That's my last gripe. That was it.
Where
That's
do we
my
go? Like, I don't know who takes responsibility. I'll say this: it's not the offense's fault. They were probably doing what they were supposed to do, clocking the ball. No idea that, hey, there's 13 other guys running onto the field behind me. I have to say that that's either the special teams coordinator or Dan Campbell's mishap there to cost us some points.
It always falls on the head coach, but I would say the special teams coordinator because he should be having extra point or field goal hot, right? Anytime we're kicking, if it's extra point or if it's field goal, he should have been field goal hot, field goal hot, field goal hot. He's holding those guys. He's getting the green light from Coach Campbell to go. So he either didn't wait for the green light or everybody wasn't on the same page. Campbell accidentally told him to go. That's something that I am going to watch on film because I immediately seen Twitter start buzzing about, see, this is a downfall of Coach Campbell. He screws up this, the clock management type stuff, the situational stuff. Perfect coach for to be a rah-rah guy and all of this stuff, but he's not the best with time management and that type of stuff. So I am interested to see, is Campbell going to be on film going, guys, get out there? Is Flip just going to be sending them? Was it a potential where there was a conversation like, hey, if we don't get X amount of yards here, we're going field goal, and they didn't understand that they were going to go field goal after they clocked it. So I'm going to do some digging, and maybe that'll be something we talk about later on this week.
Well, I'm ready to talk about some positives. I can't believe we just spent 22 minutes talking about bad stuff. I'd like to be talking about a win, but it's just not the boat we live in. Aaron Glenn should be praised for how he's coached these first 2 weeks. Okay. Like you said earlier, and you stole my thunder just a tad. Aaron Glenn, 20 points a game. This offense should score 21, no problem. All right. 20's been the number 2 weeks in a row. I think this defense is scary. It looks phenomenal. There was a play where Aiden Hutchinson got the sack, but I was watching. They were going away from us in the end zone we sit in, and I watched Levi Onwuzurike come through a hole. I don't think anybody even knew he was on the field on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He came through that hole, and I have my contacts in, so I can see pretty much everything. Okay, I saw Baker Mayfield say, "Oh shit," and he rolled to his right, and there was Aiden. But we were in Baker's pocket a lot tonight or today, and this defense is playing lights out football. And in my opinion, I want you to break it down a little more if you can. I only counted maybe 5 bad plays defensively. One was the Chris Godwin touchdown. And then there was a little bit of blown coverages, but I took into effect that at that play, the pass rush wasn't getting there. Baker had a little time. It's hard to cover. But this defense, I counted literally like 4, maybe 5 plays that I had an issue with. But in the totality of things, this defense was an A+ today.
Listen, in the NFL, if you can score teams or hold teams to 20 points, you're playing great football. Again, I'm a defensive guy, so I'm always going to be kind of leaning towards the defense, but not allowed to touch these guys. Only can hit them in certain areas to even tackle them. Like they know what they're doing. You don't know what they're doing as a defender. It's just tough on the defense. So I got to say, man, just like you said, 20 points a week, we should be able to get 21, get the heck out of there with a victory. So very frustrated with that. But I saw pretty much the same thing. I didn't count them, and I haven't watched the film back yet, but we had a busted play. Chris Godwin busted play. Other than that, it's the same thing that we've been seeing from Aaron Glenn for the past few seasons. And by that, I mean, you got bent, but we're not going to break. And then we're going to punch at that football. And then, right, we're going to get interceptions. And then, right, we're going to gamble when we need to gamble. Terry Arnold had another pass interference. I'm again like,
yes, that one was close. Yeah,
it was kind of touchy.
I felt like, all right, there was hand fighting from both. He turned around, made a play on the ball. I feel like they should have at least let that one go. If he's face guarding, different story. But they even showed the replay, and I was like, oh my God, like I hate bitching about referees, but he's getting picked on. And until he makes a play and until he proves, hey, stop throwing at me, he's got to have that moment. When that moment comes, I think this defense is just going to get even better because you don't have a guy to pick on anymore.
Yeah, and I'm like, I like what I see out of him. There was a couple of times where he was matched up, and my eyeballs were glued. It's a couple of times he was matched up with Mike Evans, and I'm like,
test.
and he played great football, man. So zero complaints there. I've been screaming it since last season. Give AG some guys that can cover people man to man. And that doesn't mean he's going to play man to man all the time, but give him the option to be able to blitz. Give him the option to be able to do some exotic stunts that and which we've seen. And he's going to have some great success. I think he's a great football coach. I think that hot take. I think that he's out coaching Ben Johnson. I think he's been doing it since last season, but he's definitely doing it the first 2 weeks of the season. So, Ben, I need you to step your game up and show us why you're that wizard. Didn't come here to say that we're going against you in a sense of like we're not cheering for you. We're cheering for you. Remind us again why we were so excited that you were staying, why we were so excited that you were just this offensive wizard, man, because I'm not seeing wizardry at all. Right? You couldn't be with Harry Potter right now. Like, you know what I mean?
Easy. Don't be talking about my guy HP now.
You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at with it. What else you
Damn
got,
muggle. Last thing is I think Hutch played out of his mind. It sucks that we wasted probably the most impactful game of his career. It's going to be hard for him to duplicate that again throughout his career. 5 sacks, absolutely phenomenal. Terran Arnold, he's just got to stop getting picked on. Once he makes a play, this is all going to change. And at this point in time, after week 2, I'll say this: I'm more worried about losing Aaron Glenn than I am Ben Johnson. That's the boat I'm in. I thought J-Mo had a good game. I thought it was nice to see Amon-Ra St. Brown have a good game. He kind of, gave a little love to the crowd. Like, I think he was kind of hearing some of the stupid nonsense on Twitter from last week and overreactions. But at the end of the day, this defense is playing great. What you got, Will?
Overreactions. Was it? Was it an overreaction? Because I'm seeing something that is, I said it last week, this is going to be a story, and here I am again. This is something that I wanted to get to, and maybe we'll do a little show on it, so I won't go too far. But the first play of the game went to Waymo, right? And it was a trust route. I'm trusting you to be in a specific place because now we've built this rapport, right? After that, we went that first offensive series with Waymo getting all types of, or the second, because the first one was the interception, but really the first offensive series, the second one, but the first true series of play, we went right back to J-Mo for a huge play, and then we went to him again. Yeah, and I think he ended up having 4 targets going into the third series where Amon-Ra didn't have any targets, right? So he did. Amon-Ra got going, and he found his footing in the game. But is this a thing? Because I'm feeling like it's going to be a thing. I said it before the season. I think that J-Mo's going to have more yards. I think Amon-Ra's going to have more receptions. Is Amon-Ra going to be okay with it? Is he truly a team guy? Is he going to be okay? Because I saw Jared Goff forcing the ball.
I said the same thing. I saw him forcing the ball to Amon-Ra a couple times too. Like, there was a play it had to have been in the third quarter, I think. So they were coming to us, and Jared had all the time in the world, and the Bucs were in perfect cover or zone defense. And St. Brown wasn't open at any point, and Jared threw him the ball, and it almost got intercepted. And I was just thinking, like, that's another one of those stupid throws. Like, you're trying to force it to Amon-Ra's not a physical presence, okay? He's lean, he's jacked, but on a football field, his height, like, he's not Calvin Johnsoning people. I just don't like. I don't know, William. I can't get back down on this road. I can't do it.
I just wonder.
I'm broken.
I just wonder what this is gonna kind of turn into. And I'll tell you what I hope. I hope that Amon-Ra is truly a team guy. And I hope the same for J-Mo. And I hope this is something to where, because what I noticed today, and I can't wait to watch the film for this reason, I noticed that safeties were rolling to J-Mo. There was a couple of times where I seen Amon-Ra man-to-man coverage underneath. All right, so you're telling me that we're going to live in a world to where J-Mo is going to start getting double? Amon-Ra should be eaten, right? He should be eaten. Sammy should be eaten. But what does that say for the respect that Jameson Williams is getting, right? Who's going to be the top dog receiver in Detroit?
I just hope this offense starts scoring points, plain and simple.
Yeah.
Anything else, William? I like to end it on a good note. I know I don't sound like I'm in the best mood, and I'm not. My day's ruined. I'm probably not going to be chipper until Thursday afternoon. So this is just kind of the Steve you guys are going to have for the week, I guess.
One last good thing. Sione Vaki.
I told you if they give Jack Fox some weapons, he makes the Pro Bowl as a quarterback. I told you that.
He's 1 for 1. Crazy QB rating he's going to
have. From their own 20-yard line in the
4th and 12?
First quarter? Was that what it was? First or second quarter?
I think it was 4th and 12.
Dan Campbell, he must have to wake up and just tuck that cock into the sock sleeve because
he don't mess around.
Breaking his ankle.
Yeah, he don't mess around. And you also saw Sione Vaki in on, I think I seen him at, I know it was at least 3. It might have been more offensive series that he was in 3 plays.
I saw they used him at fullback a couple times. Yeah.
Yep.
And there was actually one of Jahmyr Gibbs's. He had a really good run where Vaki was the fullback, but he followed him, and then he saw a big hole to the left, and he cut it back and hit it. And that was Vaki was on the field. He didn't really do much. It was a good play by Gibbs, but yeah, Vaki was on the field for that one. I remember. I'm
wondering what that wrinkle is going to be. Are they going to actually hand it to him?
Fullback dive, but that would be too north and south for Ben Johnson's offense.
He doesn't like downhill stuff.
Anything else, Will?
Nah, that's it.
All right, guys. Longer episode today, half hour. Lot to cover. Again, hats off to the Bucs. You guys came to town, got your win. Maybe we'll run it back in the playoffs. Hopefully at our house.
We win when it matters.
Yeah, hopefully again at Ford Field if we have it our way. But congrats on the win. Stick around, hit that like button. We'll be back later with another show.
Peace.